Welcome to Driftwood Conversations. I'm Hillary Sloan. In this episode, we step into the expanding world of immersive technology, art, and music with my guest, John Gearty. John is the founder of PulseJet Studios, where his team creates fully immersive music experiences for Apple Vision Pro and MetaQuest. His journey has taken him from a decade at Apple, where he helped develop their groundbreaking Vision Pro headset, to collaborating with artists like Björk on pioneering virtual reality music albums. John and I met through the Joshua Tree Music Festival, where his team had been capturing performances and creating virtual concert experiences. In this conversation, we explore not only the rapid evolution of VR and AI technologies, but also John's deep connection to music, his experiences at Burning Man, his views on creativity in this rapidly changing world, and his personal reflections on staying grounded in challenging times. This is a conversation about where art and technology meet and where they might take us next. Hello, John. I'm so glad you're here. I'm going to have you introduce yourself.
Sure. So I'm John Gearty, founder and producer at PulseJet Studios. We do fully immersive, totally indescribable music experiences for Apple Vision Pro and MetaQuest. I worked at Apple for quite a while, so that's my kind of recent history for about 10 years on Apple Watch and iPhone, but most notably on the Vision Pro, which is the VR headset they developed, on the spatial headset they would call it. And so that was a dream product for me to work on. But yeah, I was at Apple for about 10 years, met some great people there. And then once we finished the device, I left to found the studio making immersive videos and concerts. And it's been quite a ride. So
it sounds pretty exciting. Did you design the headset?
Not the face piece. I wasn't on the hardware side. I was on the software side, and so I worked on some of the user interface elements in the software. I worked on the interaction model, which is the hands and eyes, because there's no controllers on the device. You use your fingers to flip through, and you use your eyes to just look at objects, and it's kind of a magical user interface. So pretty proud of the work that we did on that. I worked on some accessibility stuff, which is really exciting, what this can bring to impaired and handicapped users, and a number of other things, but on the software side of Vision Pro, not the hardware side.
That is pretty exciting about bringing this kind of software to people in need. Are you teamed up with a group that's doing that, or is this you?
So, well, that was at Apple. So I worked with Apple internally. If you're talking about accessibility, Apple has a great accessibility team. iPhone alone is an incredible device for accessibility users, but now Vision Pro also has great capabilities. But I've moved on from that, and so now my group, I've got about 10 people working with me here at the studio, and we're focused on the music aspects of stuff and bringing concerts and visual albums to the device. So that's my focus now.
Are you a musician?
Well, you might notice from the guitars behind me.
Yeah.
I like music a bit. Yeah, an amateur musician, I would say. I play guitar since I was young. Really enjoyed it, and all my life, in and out and up and down. Music is a lifelong journey, no question about it, and it's a lifelong learning experience, and there's always more to it. But yeah, I play guitar. I like to sing. I like to monkey around with electronic music and DJ stuff in my kind of spare time. But yeah, what I really like, what I'm doing at the studio now, really brings together my loves of music and technology. And that's super exciting for me because I've always had a love for technology and always been able to do that my whole career, but never have found a way to bring music together with it. And now I have. And so it's amazing.
Where are you located?
I'm in San Francisco.
Did you grow up there?
Born and raised in Minnesota until I was 18 years old. Went to school in Iowa, a little liberal arts college in Luther College in the northeast corner of Iowa. Moved out to Michigan for my first job, which also happened to be in virtual reality, doing a virtual human at a company called Transom Technologies. Lived in Ann Arbor, Michigan for 5 years, where I met my amazing wife, Denise, and then went back and got my MBA. And then we lived in Seattle for about 2 years, which was a great experience. Love Seattle. And we've been out here for, I think, going on 15, 17 years now.
When you were a child, did you imagine you'd be doing this kind of work?
Good question. In some capacity. I suppose you've got dreams, and then you kind of try and shoehorn life into them, or the other way around. So for sure, I mean, I've always just loved music. I've always been inspired by music, but the VR piece is really what hooked me. I tell people I was inspired by the movie Lawnmower Man, which is a VR movie a long time ago when I was about 18 years old, and that really hooked me, and I've kind of been chasing that dream ever since. So yeah, but lots of different detours along the way. I've spent a lot of time in computer aided design on the mechanical engineering side, which is one of the closest things to being able to do what I want to do in the immersive technology. And then it's only recently that these devices have gotten to the point where they're consumer ready to really do what I want with them. And then I'm not sure that I really imagine bringing music into it this completely. So that's really kind of beyond my dreams in a way.
Where do you think the technology will be going?
Oh wow. It's pretty amazing. I think immersive technology is in itself very very cool. I mean, I use it as it's they call it a spatial computer. That's Apple's term for it, and that's because you can do everything on a Mac on the device that you can on a Mac. So you could sit on an airplane and do your spreadsheets or watch movies or anything you can do on a computer, you can do now in a headset. So that alone is amazing. So I think you'll see more of that. And you can bring up large displays, multiple displays, and work in all the displays at the same time. And then I think the form factor will get smaller, so you'll see much smaller form factors, and you'll be able to wear these types of things around and augment your display in the regular world, which will be very cool. You could ask where the coffee shop is and walk down the road and see the little arrows pop up as you walk in that direction. They'll get lighter, they'll get better resolution, and so on. So that a broad number of people can adopt them. And then simultaneously, like artificial intelligence is just incredible as well. That has kind of overshadowed a lot of the developments in immersive technologies in a lot of ways, but that also brings a whole new aspect to this, to where you're going to have intelligent devices that will be able to guide you and answer your questions as you walk around, and bring up images of things, or search on images that you have on your device. So, I mean, we live in an incredible time of technology where the shift is it's mind-blowing, and I follow it all really closely. It just hurts my brain where we're going, and for people that don't understand it, it's I think it's scary in many ways how much technology we have coming together, colliding at the same time, and the amount of change that we're going through. A lot of people say this is by far the most technological advancement in history at one time. If you look at the Industrial Revolution, that was a huge, 10x gain in productivity. And what we're going through now is like 100x gain in productivity or more. It's really just hard to get your head around. So it's exciting and scary.
Are you using AI in the virtual reality?
Yeah, no, we are. So we are and we aren't, and we want to walk this very carefully, because AI does incredible video generation. So you can create music videos. We basically do immersive music videos, and you can create those with AI. But the traditional way of doing it, sort of classic CG tools, is, I would say, more authentic in some ways right now. And so we're doing a big project with Björk right now, for example. That's all done the traditional way. I think it's much more thorough and detailed and authentic in some ways than artificial intelligence. So we are going down the artificial intelligence path with generating our videos, and it's incredibly powerful, and we can do much more volume. It's incredibly creative. We can put in, basically, right now we're using it for storyboards mostly, and so we can storyboard something out and make a whole video in a couple of hours that would have taken us days, weeks, even months. Downside is, potentially it's potentially stealing some art. And for example, you can go create videos now or images from like Studio Ghibli, which is like Miyazaki's stuff, and it kind of breaks my heart because you're stealing their entire style. We don't want to do that. We don't want to just steal art or steal people's style, but we do want to take advantage of the incredible power that's there in artificial intelligence. So yeah, it's a path we're walking very, very carefully right now. But it's super exciting, and it opens up the possibilities and the volume of what we can do. It's incredible.
Well, you just answered my question, my second question, which was, do you have concerns about the technology?
Oh yeah, definitely. No, it's a really treacherous road, and the big dogs like Sam Altman and ChatGPT are walking it carefully as well. And I'm starting to see some very big lawsuits from Universal Studios and Disney, who there's for example, I think they're starting to put out Star Wars content that's unlicensed. They're just straight off ripping off Darth Vader and other Star Wars content, and so that's a huge concern. It needs to be navigated very carefully, and yeah, but at the same time, it's an incredible revolution, and so I look to the big companies. Google's leading the charge on this, Apple, ChatGPT, and Sam Altman, who recently joined forces with Johnny Ive to help lead the way and make sure that we're doing it responsibly.
Tell me about the project you're working on right now.
We're knee deep in a project with Björk, who's an amazing artist and one of my idols for a long time. And she pioneered what we consider to be the visual album, or a VR music album. And she did this about 5 or 6 years ago with a project called Volnakura, an album called Volnakura. It is a breakup story with her and Matthew Barney, who's another artist who she was, I think, married to, and they had a child together. But the breakup story is really heart-wrenching, and she brings you through a full album, 9 songs of heartbreak, and then eventually healing of the process. And it's a really incredible story, and it's all fully immersive. So you can put the headset on, and you're in her world. You're actually in Iceland, and there's full 3D scans taken from drones of the Icelandic landscape. You go through a lava tunnel that's no longer there before because it was consumed by the last volcano that was there. If you saw that on the news, with soccer players kicking around a ball around in Iceland around a volcano, that consumed the lava tunnel that's in this VR experience. You go through an incredible healing experience with her avatar. And so it's a full 9 songs. It's epic. It's technically a beast and has challenged my team in so many ways I wouldn't have imagined, taking us longer than expected. But we're just wrapping it up now. We're almost done with it. And it's been an incredible journey in many, many ways.
So I'm a little unclear. Did she do this album several years ago, and you're doing the virtual reality now?
Good question. We are remastering it. The full virtual reality piece was done 5 years ago by like 9 different studios. It was a very incredibly ambitious project at the time, both technically and creatively. But it was done 5 years ago, but it barely saw the light of day because it barely ran on the devices at the time. You needed full PCs with cables to the headset, and they call them light tower trackers to track your arms and hands. Whereas now everything's built into one headset. So we have remastered it. And it's been a lot of work just to get it all working, get all 9 songs working, get it all put together. But it is a remaster of what we consider to be the first VR album of all time. So that was the original piece. Incredibly ambitious 5 years ago. We are remastering it. And so we put all 9 songs together. And you can view it in one app on Vision Pro and Meta Quest. We're done with it technically, and it's going through final review with Björk herself, and we'll be releasing it soon. But yeah, super excited, and regardless of how well it does commercially, and I hope it does really well, but we're happy artistically with it.
So you remastered what was there. You didn't go there and do new shooting.
That's correct. Yep. We were provided with all the assets from the original team. We have been in contact with many of the people that worked on it. In fact, Andrew Thomas Wong is a producer in Los Angeles that worked with her directly on the project, and he's an advisor on our project. He's been reviewing the content and providing creative direction. And then, of course, we're in contact with Björk herself and her team in Iceland, and making sure we kind of meet the original creative intent of the album. Unfortunately, didn't have the opportunity to go to Iceland and do any scanning, although, maybe for the next visual album she does, we'll see.
That would be fun. I was there overnight on a plane flight that had to stop, that had to make a emergency landing, but I didn't see the country. Many years
You didn't
ago.
get to see the Blue Lagoon? That's pretty amazing.
I bet.
Right by the airport. My wife and I went there a few years back and got to tour all the glaciers and the volcanoes, and it's incredible. It's got to be one of the most beautiful places on earth. Just the diversity and intensity of the natural landscape there, and the geothermal effects, and it's a really, really special place. Really cool.
I bet it is. Tell me how you came to the Joshua Tree Music Festival.
Yeah, let's see. Joshua Tree Music Festival. I mean, all of our friends are big music fans and DJs and so on, so we're sort of looped into this world. We're burners, if you will. We've been to Burning Man, me and my wife, many times. She started going in '97, so that's a while back. And then so the music festival thing is not new to us, but Joshua Tree is new and different. I think we got connected through our good friend Renee, who's a huge music fan and super connector, and met Barnett. Got introduced us to the festival and went, of course, and then invited us to come along with her. You know, as we started to discover it, it's really a unique festival. It's small. It's one of the smaller ones, right? I think 2,500 people at last count that I heard. I think is growing, but they won USA Today's small festival. It's one of the best small festivals in the country, and that's one of the things that's great about it. It's family friendly. It's small scale. It's not Coachella. You're not fighting people for water bottles or whatever. And they bring great music that you wouldn't know. Like, I didn't know any of the bands. I knew a couple of them, to be truth be told, but for the most part, you don't know the bands necessarily or the artists that are there. But they're always a delight. They're always a nice surprise, and that's a tribute to Barnett, who is music fan aficionado extraordinaire, and just brings in incredible talent that you would never search out or find, or certainly the algorithms on Spotify wouldn't feed you these days. And so it's a surprise and a delight when you go. He's also been really gracious to our studio, gave us the opportunity to capture 5-6 artists in October of 23. Nikki Genesis, Father Taj, Lettuce, Digging Dirt, et cetera, et cetera. And so it's been a great partnership for our studio as well. And this last May we captured Lil Chris, which is a great show. So
I want to talk about that more, but I have some questions. I got some links from your office, and I went on there,
yeah.
but I guess I'd have to have the headset to really see it. Am I right?
The idea is, yeah, you can relive the experience. So you put a headset on and you can be at Joshua Tree. So I love this, especially for Joshua Tree, because not a lot of people know about it or could go there. It's a bit off the beaten path, and so to be able to go see Nikki Genesis play and feel like you're there and feel the energy of it is really something else. Now you can watch our content on YouTube, and YouTube has a feature called 360, so you can watch it in YouTube 360 and grab an iPad and spin it around your head, or click and spin around on the screen. But the best experience is to put on a headset and it's like you're there again. Yeah, Lil Chris, she's
Little
amazing.
Chris.
Lil Chris is amazing DJ and friend of ours. She's part of the Sturdy Crew, which is a pretty big DJ collective in San Francisco in the Bay Area. But Lil Chris is just an amazing sprite. I'll call her. She's just a ball of energy, a ball of positive energy. I love her to death. And she did a DJ performance at Boogaloo Lounge, a 3-hour Friday night set at the last one, and just crushed it. And she had a great time. She said she got on the decks and felt like she was possessed. She said she got there and just felt like she was among family and just really got to express herself and really connect with the audience. And I've seen her many times, and she's always amazing. I've never seen a bad show of hers, but I think this was really, really next level. And we're just starting to edit it now, so I'm looking forward to putting it together. But everyone that was there said it was a great set, and then she came back just absolutely glowing from the whole experience, just Joshua Tree as an experience, and getting to know people in Barnet, and then the performance I think was really something that kind of, it was the next level for her as well. It was she hadn't done anything just quite like that before. So good capture.
Were you the one shooting or your team?
Nope, I've got a camera crew, and then some friends helped out on this one as well. Our good friend Elon Rosenthal was the primary camera director on this one. Yeah, we shipped down a bunch of our immersive cameras and set them up and captured the whole show. So should be a good little piece when we spit it out.
Were you there? Did you come to the festival?
I didn't get to go to this one, actually. I was knee deep in Bjork, which is just an all-consuming project. I've been obsessed with it for the last 6 months, and that's been absolutely all-consuming. So unfortunately, I couldn't step away for this one. Actually, were you there? Were you at this May?
Yes.
May? You were there. Yeah. Okay. Did you see Lil Chris actually? Or
I'm not
you
sure
did?
I did. I came and went. I was getting more sound. I want to put a story together with stories about the festival. and I had some other things going on. I
Okay.
work for the radio station.
Oh, okay, cool.
So so I'd come and get what I needed and then go home and then come back.
I get okay, cool. You're close enough to drive in, which is incredible. That's great.
Yes, I'm about 5 minutes from the festival grounds.
Oh, that's great.
So we've talked a little bit about your career, where you are, and your company. Is there anything else you want to add about that? Where the company's going, what you see for the future?
We're at a super exciting spot, Hillary, because it's been a while. It's been 2+ years getting things off the ground, and that is a very slow road when you're first getting things going. But we're picking up incredible momentum now. I'm so excited about it. Just brief history. I mean, we spent the first couple of years working with independent artists like Nikki and Lettuce and Digging Dirt and Father Taj that we did at Joshua Tree. And then we were really excited to land what we consider to be our first A-list artist, which is Björk. And now that we have that one under our belts, we're looking to sign up another 3, 4, 5 major A-list artists. So we're talking to, we're out looking for the next who it's going to be, and we're talking to people involved in Empire of the Sun and Radiohead. And I mean, we could do Pink Floyd, we could do Led Zeppelin. Like, just imagine, Hillary. I mean, think of your favorite artist, think of your favorite song of all time, and we do this experiment where literally I put a blindfold on people and close your eyes and listen to the song and imagine what you see, and imagine it all around you. And that's the possibilities. If you take every track and just create an entire immersive world of what that artist might have imagined when they were going through, or what any listener imagines when they're hearing that song or seeing that song, possibilities are endless. And then packaging it into a full visual album where you can walk through an artist's full album, a full experience is a huge opportunity to me. Björk paved the way with her. It's an incredible story and a painful story, but a healing story that you walk through. But it is a full, hour-long story that you get through. And so it's just a visual journey. And so super excited about where we're at, to answer your question, Hillary. Looking for the next artist that we're going to work with, the next 2-3 artists that we're really going to create incredible albums with. Also looking at the AI aspects to be able to produce that volume and do this for independent artists on budget, which is actually key to our business model as well. Like, VR historically has been something that only a VR project even is too ambitious for Björk. Like, it's got to be really big budget to do anything in VR. But we are bringing it, to an economic scale where we can work with indie artists and give them actually an opportunity to make money, which is a bit lost in the whole streaming world. I mean, Spotify and Apple, have kind of taken that away, and you can't make, even on YouTube, you're only making pennies. We are trying to bring that back and give artists a way to sell a visual album and bring back the album concept. Do you remember albums? You remember records, Hillary? Not everyone on this planet does. And so we're trying to bring back the album concept in visual form and give artists something to sell again. And so it's an exciting business opportunity as well.
So what you're talking about is not just filming the concert, but actually creating almost a film around it. Am I correct?
Videos, like VR music videos is what we call them. So we do two things, concerts and VR music videos. But yeah, the videos are more fun to me because you can get totally creative with them. They don't have to be a real world. It's not just a concert you attend. It's anything you can possibly dream of. Yeah, it's cool, right?
Right, because when you were talking about the album you're doing with Björk and photographing in Iceland, I mean, I realize it's not just her playing. There's quite a bit more to it.
There's a lot more to it, right? No, and that one's a private experience, and then you've got her avatar, guiding you through it, and there's a part where you actually thread her heart back together, so it's interactive,
Oh, wow.
and really, really, really quite extraordinary.
Have you thought of or done anything with the interactive domes? Because I know there's several around the country.
Ah, excellent question. Okay, yes, not directly from a business standpoint, but it's a very direct corollary to what we're doing here. And so I've been to the Sphere twice. Have you been?
No. I was at one that a friend put up here at the retreat center
Okay.
for Childish Gambino. And I wrote on about that. It was pretty amazing.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, neat. Yeah, I like him. Yeah. So it's very corollary to what we're doing. I call our business basically the sphere for home, the sphere for your head, because what they do A lot of it is basically immersive video. It renders out as 360 immersive video. So we can literally play, they render at 16K, ours is at 12K, but we can literally play the Sphere content on our app in headset. And instead of having to go see it in Las Vegas, we can get it to 25 million headset users around the world. You can watch it at your home. But the content is very similar, in the, and the way it's delivered or the way it's developed is very similar. And so I saw the Grateful Dead there. I'm actually not a huge Grateful Dead fan, but it was still an amazing show. Like, the visuals were incredible. Definitely hats off to the Sphere. I call the Sphere a temple of sound, a temple for music. I can't imagine a better way to enjoy music, than to go see all these visuals around it. So, and then for New Year's, Hillary, I went and saw Anima at the Sphere, which was the first EDM show, and it was next level. It is an absolutely next level concert experience. The graphics that they put into it, the story, it's a great story. It's a story about, I don't know if you know Anima. Anima means soul in whatever language. Anima is a story of robots, the digital world, connecting with humans and trying to understand love and trying to understand feelings. The music is incredible on its own. I love Anima as a producer. The story is great that goes with it, and then the graphics they put to it are absolutely incredible, and I have huge admiration for the artists and the rendering pipeline and everything that goes into that. There's a possibility we'll bring what we've done with Björk to the Sphere. Likewise, we can take some of the Sphere content. I'd love to bring Anima to our app. And so, yeah, absolutely. Really, really cool stuff going on with the dome projection type stuff.
Can you imagine doing movies? I'm thinking like Avatar.
Movies, sure. Oh, God, that's a huge opportunity. So I need to stay focused, and so I'm going to stick to music. There's a huge world of
the
stuff
creative
here.
mind.
But yeah, it's crazy, just the endless possibilities. But yes, no, that's another huge opportunities, and I foam at the mouth for the opportunity that Disney and Lucasfilms and Industrial Light and Magic have at their fingertips, because they've already created these digital worlds like Avatar. So yeah, the ability to now walk around in the Avatar world, I can't wait for it. It'll come. Will we get into my studio? I don't think, not in the near term. I don't see us getting into movies. We could actually, like, the technology is all the same. Or, if James Cameron wants to hire me to remaster Avatar for Vision Pro, I'll probably jump at the chance. But at the same time, I mean, there's lots of opportunities. Sports is another big one as well. That I won't go the sports direction, but it's very similar to what we're doing. So my focus right now is to stick with music. There's enough opportunity here, a ton of opportunity here, and it's just so close to my heart. But movies, interactive or immersive movies are a huge opportunity as well.
So I want to get back to you for a minute. Tell me something personal about your life. Maybe something you're bringing to this work you're doing now, who you were as a little child, and something about you.
Well, I feel like Dr. Evil sometimes. The details of my life are quite inconsequential. But what about me? I don't know. I'm just lucky to have a lot of good life experience, a lot of great people around me, and just want to share the joy. And music has been such a huge part of my life. I think travel is a huge part of kind of what I'm about. Me and my wife, when we first met, we went to Machu Picchu and hiked around Machu Picchu. We've done Europe. I've got a lot of good international friends, German friends from Amsterdam, friends from Japan. Really love the international community and diversity. I guess that's one of the reasons I like San Francisco is the diversity here is just unmatched. We have all the best cuisine. We've got a lot of different, people from all walks of life, and it's the melting pot, and it just keeps life interesting. Burning Man, I would say, is another huge aspect of my life. My wife discovered it before I did on Wired magazine, but then dragged me out there. And what's crazy about Burning Man is, I don't know, in day-to-day life, especially even now, you tend to lose faith in humanity. And Burning Man, it's the only place I've been to that there's no money there, for starters. So people don't do things for money. They call it a barter economy or a gift economy, and there's not even that much of that. But people are doing things for no other reason than it's cool. So the art is more spectacular than anything on earth. You see these giant, multi-story sculptures and giant dance clubs that people work all year round to build. And they're doing it for no other reason than it's cool and to share their love and excitement for art and music. And it's also just a blank canvas, which is really cool. Like, you go out to... Have you been, Hillary? Have you been to Burning Man?
No.
Okay. Should go. It's never too late to go and enjoy it. You can go for a couple days. but it's a blank canvas, and you go out there. It depends if you go early to build the city or not, or go midweek. It's when you get out there, it's a blank desert, and then people just build on it, and they build a city in 3 days. And then, by the end of it, there's 50, 60,000 people dancing and having the time of their lives. And I just can't imagine anything more incredible. So the Burning Man spirit, I haven't been in 10 years, but the spirit stays with me all of the time. And just the incredible creativity. And then I'm just glad to share it in our new art form. Music, creativity, art. It's pretty cool.
And not to get political at all, but it's a very tough time
Okay.
now. And what I sense from you is, tell me if I'm wrong, I sense a spiritual connection within you. What would you tell kids, younger people right now, about how to keep going, how to go for their dream, and what to bring into this new time we're in?
Oh, yeah. Well, that's a tough one. We are in a tough and crazy time. And I see a lot of kids confused. I call it the Facebook generation, raised by Facebook and just following what images they're throwing up there. What would I say? I think that number one, the media is really crazy right now, and so you really have to step away from it. I myself have a tendency to get sucked into, Facebook or the news at night or whatever, and it's not representative of what's going on in the world. So you've got to step away from that. And I like, travel, get away from it, get away. I like to get out on my motorcycle, on your bike, whatever it is, get in with nature. And the media right now, especially, paints out everything to be terrible. You're following the disaster, and this is partly because people just want to see disaster for whatever reason. It grips us. But most of life, like 95% of life, is still amazing, and people are amazing. And so don't, kind of believe the media that just is kind of revolves around tragedy or death right now. What else? Yes, maintain yourself, I think, is really important. I think one of the things about social media, Hillary, that's crazy, it's connected us all in a crazy way, which is great. We are connected as people, I believe, and talk about spiritual sense, I believe, we're all connected in a way. And so the fact that social media has brought us all together and connected us, and I can connect with people around the world, and I do business with people I met on Facebook all the time. I never would have had that opportunity. But the flip side of that is we feel everyone's pain, we feel everyone's emotions, we feel everyone's everything all the time, and that's what's driving people crazy, is this constant flood of information. And so what I do, Hillary, is I call it signal to noise, and turn up the signal, bring down the noise is a Peter Gabriel line. But it's also an engineering term that resonates with me. Tune in to the things that you think are real and that you think matter, and the people that you think are feeding you the truth are feeding you good information that will lead you in the right direction. And so I'm very conscious to block out the social media channels that I don't think are positive or lead me in the right direction. And then I think maintain yourself is really, really tough in these times. So you got to make time for yourself. A lot of people don't do it. You just get sucked into what everyone else wants you to do or whatever everyone else is asking for. So you have to block time in the day. It's so hard to just, even guitar. I want to play guitar all the time and I don't have any time for it. How is that? So you have to block time in the day to do the things to take care of yourself and do the things you really want to do and feed your soul, because those are the things that I try and do to stay centered.
It sounds like that's where your resilience comes from, where the part of you that keeps going in a very positive way from your music.
Yeah, I have to make time for myself. My work is amazing, so I can easily get sucked into it. And so I really have to consciously take hours out of my day. I'm taking off in July, which will be great. I'll completely unplug and digital detox. I think that's important these days as well. But time alone, a little peace. My studio's been amazing, actually. This space I built as a music studio in my own home, in our home. But then when the pandemic hit, it turned out to be great, because at Apple we were to work from home, and so for 2 years I was working here, and it's soundproof and it's quiet and it's really a sanctuary. Long story short, for the last 2 months during a remodel, we had to live in one of the worst areas of San Francisco at 6th and Natoma in the Tenderloin, face to face with fentanyl crisis, and it was crazy and disturbing. And I missed this space because here it's quiet. I can be by myself and crank up the music. My morning time is precious. I have 2 hours pretty much in the morning. I get up early these days, and so I have 2 hours in the morning to myself, and that's really precious time. And I don't schedule anything during that time or any work that I need to do. I just do whatever I feel like doing. It's so easy to just get your schedule overwhelmed. And so, don't take on too much. It's another big thing that I have to, it's something I carried from Apple, because Apple is very big on, focusing on one thing very, very succinctly and just doing it extremely well. And to do that, what you have to do is block out everything else, because everything else will consume you and just fall into your life. So pick the things that you really, really enjoy. There's no amount of money that makes you happy. I've learned that too, for sure. I made some money in my life, but you got to stay focused on what you really, really enjoy.
So to wrap up, tell me about your favorite music, because that seems so part of you.
Sure. I like a lot of music. I tell everyone my running joke is everything but country, and even country I'll listen to occasionally. I really, at the core, I'm kind of a weird mix, but both a heavy metal and an electronic music fan. My favorite artist, I mentioned Anima before. He's one of the best EDM producers out there, and like I said, his performance is amazing, so he's top of my list. I like a lot of pop music. Charlie XCX writes banging hits every single day, and her Brat Summer last year and 360 stuff. By the way, we would love to work with you, Charlie, and do a 360 video for 360. But I would have to say one of my all-time favorites, and it keeps coming back, is Tool. I don't know if you know Tool, but they're I guess ambient metal or heavy metal. They're very talented. Danny Carey, their drummer, is probably the best drummer in the world, at least in my eyes. And all of their musicians are really talented. And talk about spiritual. Like somehow there's really spiritual connection there. It's very spiritual music. I can't say enough about them. But they've evolved over time. Maynard, their lead singer, is incredibly prolific and actually has 3 bands. One of them's called Pussifer, another one's called A Perfect Circle. And they've evolved over time. And Tool, I just keep coming back to as being inspirational, and I find it just connects with me, and then I dig into the lyrics. There's one called Numa right now, which is about kind of the let's call it life force, like Numa's life force, ringing in my head, and I wake up singing it and have to put it on. So yeah,
I will.
A lot of good music out there, though. It's a lot of good stuff.
I met a group that came out to Joshua Tree called Polyenso. Do you know them? Do you know their work?
I haven't heard of Polyenso.
They're really, really interesting. I don't know what you would call them, but they're, I would guess, electronic, independent. They were starting to get big, and then COVID hit. So I haven't spoken to them in a while. They stayed with me when they were traveling through Joshua Tree. I have a vacation rental, okay. And I had a big house at the time. Oh. So it was a great pleasure to meet them and be part of that process of them being on the road. This is fascinating stories. But I will check out some of the people you've spoken about. Anything else to wrap this up?
What else? I don't know. Let's see. Stay creative, people. Keep making music. AI, it has potential to just scare everyone out of the business. I've seen people literally leaving the music business because they're like, I don't know, everyone's just going to type in a prompt and make music. So I have a deep appreciation for real musicians, real drummers, real, guitar players and string players, horns. Björk brings a 100-person orchestra everywhere she goes with harp players and flute players and you name it. So for all you true musicians out there, just please keep doing it. And I would love to meet you and work with you. Like we're really opening up our doors to artists right now. So stay creative.
Will you come back to the Joshua Tree Music Festival, the one in the fall?
For sure. Yeah, absolutely. I don't know if we can make the one in the fall, but for sure we'll be back. We have a big group of friends, 20 people that go every year and stay in the cozy campers, which I highly recommend, by the way. You can rent out Barnett's little cozy campers. We have a group that goes every year, and we know a bunch of artists that are going now, so we'll be back.
Great. John, thank you. This was fun. I learned a lot.
Yeah, I appreciate this. I love your podcast, and thanks for having me today.
Thank you for joining me for this insightful conversation with John Gearty. You can find out more about John's work at PulseJet Studios and keep an eye out for their upcoming project, including the fully remastered immersive album with Björk. If you enjoy Driftwood Conversations, please subscribe, share, and leave a review. It helps others find us, and as always, stay curious, stay present, and keep listening for the stories that shape us.